Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our City Council meeting. Today is Tuesday, March 21st, 2023. It is 4:30 p.m., and I call this meeting to order. And if we could have the record reflect that we do have a quorum, we will move on to our invocation and pledge of allegiance. We will have our invocation led by Pastor John Rotra with Cornerstone Baptist Church, and then followed by Mr. Molina that will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for allowing me to come back here and lead you in the opening prayer. Let's pray.
Thank you.
Heavenly Father, first I want to say thank you for you and for who you are and for what you have done. Thank you for your righteousness and your holiness. Thank you for your love and your mercy. Father, although we know from Scripture that we constantly show evidence that we are guilty sinners falling way short of your holiness and righteousness, deserving only your wrath, and yet, Jesus, you came down and shed your blood, and Jesus, I thank you for that. That the shedding of your blood pays for that wrath and brings forgiveness. And thank you for your resurrection, Jesus. We can have new life since death is defeated. And thank you, Jesus, for making it where every person who repents of their sins and believes in you is saved. Our only hope of salvation is you. And I'm grateful, Father, that you sent your Son to do that. So, Father, I ask you to be here today, this evening, with the members of the City Council. I ask you to guide each one to follow your will, give them your wisdom, so that the decisions they make will be in accordance with what you teach us in your word. And will be done not out of personal motives or political agendas, but will be done to honor and glorify you by serving the people of this community in the best way that they can, following your guidance. God, I ask you to bless each one of them as they seek you in their lives and in their workplaces, here in the council, or any place else that they may be working. I ask you to just protect them and their families and bless them all. And I pray this in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody please down, turn, face the flag, right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to agenda item number 3, public comments. We do have one citizen that wishes to address the city council, and we have Mr. Mauricio Garza. Mr. Garza, if you will,
Hi, good
say your
afternoon.
name and your address again, so I'm sorry.
Sure, absolutely. My name is Mauricio Garza II. I live at 500 Nair Street. I'm a proud citizen of Alice, born here, raised here, had businesses here, and I'm currently a candidate for City Council too. Before I'd start, I'd like to take a moment to thank all of the city employees for everything that they do. Everybody from the landfill to the water department to the administration, the guys cutting grass, working out in the streets. You all are the ones that keep the city running. I commend you and I thank you for all that you do. Secondly, I'd like to thank all the citizens who are involved with our local government, the ones that show up to the council meetings, and to the very few who are able to see us over the internet. I know it's quite hard. We don't get to see it on the city government website or their Facebook. We have to find it on YouTube. And if we're lucky enough to comment and not have it censored, well, that's a different story. I'm not here to say anything bad or anything. I'm just here to remind everybody that there is an election coming up this year. May will be the time that you get to choose a council. And for over 6 years, we have not had a debate for the council members to debate each other. I would love for that to happen. That way the people of Alice can ask questions of their council members and the candidates that are running against them so that they can get to know them better. So I will leave that with you all. We'd like to have a debate. You all can choose whenever you'd like to do it, wherever you'd like to do it, and we would like to accommodate you all and try to educate the citizens of Alice as to who's running. God bless you all. God bless our city. God bless our country. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, no other citizen comments. I'll move on to our council members. If you have any public announcements or anything you'd like to state, Mr. Pete Chris.
Just wanted to wish everybody a happy Easter. It's coming up here shortly, and for the most part, and the most important thing to say is, remember what the day is about when you're out there celebrating with your family, with the loved ones that you have around you. Enjoy them, cherish them, because a lot of times they're not here. They're gone before you are, and a memory doesn't hold true as much as a hug. So remember that when you're out there on this Easter celebrating with your families.
Thank you. Mr. Molina?
I just want to welcome everybody today. Thank you.
Mr. Burke?
Large welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And also happy, blessed, peaceful Easter to you and your families.
Thank you. Mrs. Bowen?
The same, happy Easter, and thank you, Pete, for that, because it is the reason for the season also in Easter, the reason behind it, as we celebrate with families. I'd like to thank the City of Alice and BT Church for working on the Touch-A-Truck this past weekend. It was a wonderful event, even though it was cold and rainy. It was wonderful to see everybody out there and the kids having so much fun. I actually got on one of those tractors too. Believe it or not, I had a tough time getting off of it, but it was easy getting on it. And also attended the COVID bench dedication. That was very, very nice and well presented. And just welcome everybody and have a blessed evening. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to also thank the community for all the events we had, and that was a wonderful event with the Touch-A-Truck, even with the cold weather. So thank you to all the children and the parents that did come, and thank you to our city employees, and they did kind of show me how to maneuver one of those. So it was nice. It was a very nice thing, and thank you to the City of Alice for working with the committee, for the COVID committee, because it meant a lot to have that dedication for the bench. Unfortunately, I made a little mistake with the schematics, so we are going to get the proper one, so. But thank you again to the city and to all the citizens. Thank you for all you do, and our city employees for making these events happen. And happy Easter to everyone, as we probably won't see them till later, so after Easter. Thank y'all.
Mayor, with you
Sure.
done, I'd like to say
Yes.
something.
Sure.
Okay, are you done?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to announce that we're holding a fundraiser for a young man. He's a 14-year-old William Adams student that has been, having a really, poor quality of life right now. He's got a tumor growing out the side of his jaw, and he's had a really bad time this last year or so. And my oldest son happens to be a Texas country artist, and he's still kind of finding his own way, but he kind of reached out to me, said he wanted to help him and do something, and we found a weekend that would work, that was mutual for everyone. So it's April 15th next month, and I won't be, our meeting's right afterwards, so I just want to give everybody a heads up. We're going to have a benefit dance, and well, first let me thank the community, because the minute we kind of started talking to everybody, people just started coming forward and donating, and I'm a State Farm agent, so normally I'm on the side of donating and sponsoring, so this is kind of reverse role, so now it's kind of awkward for me asking, but I'm really just taken back by the outpouring of love and affection. We've all but sold out the KZ Hall already, and it's probably been a week, so there might be a couple of tables left right now. But earlier that day, between 11 and 2, we will be having a benefit barbecue sale as well. Ruben Lopez from Tejano Roots, Bertha Rodriguez, Pete Chris, Andrew, a lot of folks have kind of, tied in and kind of helped out in different ways. There's too many to list right now, but I did want to thank the community for coming out and coming forth. I mean, we can't help everyone, but this was just kind of one of these causes that came up, and just want to thank everybody for what they've done up until now. And if y'all can come out and support April 15th, tax day, kind of hard to forget that, but
That's
I
right.
really appreciate that so much. Happy Easter. Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr. Molina.
and thank you to your son. That is a wonderful thing.
Before I go, one more thing. His name is Aaron James Espinosa. His parents are Jason and Stacy Johnson, and they really appreciate everything, by the way. Thank you.
Thank
Keep them
you.
in prayer as well.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you for that, and many blessings to the family, and for healing prayers for the young man.
Thank you.
We'll move on to agenda item number 4, city manager / staff reports, 4.1, touch a truck event, e-recycling event, and additional recycling efforts, infrastructure updates on Scott, Hobbs, Beckham, Front, East 3rd, and East 4th Streets.
Thank you, Mayor. Arlene, our Assistant City Manager, is going to go over the first two, touch truck and recycling.
Can y'all pull up the presentation, please? I'm gonna run through a PowerPoint really quickly.
We're finding it right now.
Alrighty, here we go. And so we did an e-waste recycle event. One date in February and one date in March. We wanted to give the public an opportunity to dispose of their unwanted electronics. And I don't know if it's been done in recent history, but we did collect 7 full boxes of the size that you see there. So we were pretty excited about that. That's waste out of our landfill, and also a lot of good material that can be recycled and reused by other for other electronics. So wanted to share the success of the program, and we'll probably look at having it twice a year, perhaps, maybe once in the spring and once in the fall. And so think about now, start collecting all your old electronics you have at home that you might want to get rid of. This is a great opportunity to do that. So on the topic of recycling, I just wanted to share some information on our regular recycling program that we have here at the City of Alice, and to remind the public that we do recycle. City of Alice recycles. And here's a little bit of our recycling history over the years. Over the last 4 years, you can see that the amount of tonnage that our residents recycle has decreased, and so we're making efforts to try to increase that number. We don't have the 2022 number yet, but we'll have that soon. And we've done some things to help let the public know that we do recycle, such as increasing our marketing on social media, having recycling events such as the electronics recycling at the recycling center, which also increases exposure to the center. Maybe people who don't recycle weekly think, oh, okay, let me take my electronics recycling, and then they're inspired to recycle other materials. We did include a state notification in all of the utility bill statements, and we made some improvements to the website last summer. And these are screenshots from our recycling page, and it outlines the materials that we accept and those that we don't accept. And so we do accept paper, magazines, cardboard, newspaper, tin, and aluminum, and then plastics with the number 1 and 2 in the chasing arrow. And here's a little bit more on that 1 and 2 for people's reference. So if you turn your plastics over and you see anything other than the 1 and 2, then we don't accept it at the recycling center here. And some commonly used items that have the 1 and the 2 on the bottom are your soft drink bottles, mineral water, fruit juice containers, or the cooking oil containers, or milk jugs, cleaning agents on the bottom. But the containers have to be cleaned out. This is just an example of what those types of plastics typically hold, the product that they typically hold. So please remember to wash out your recyclables before you bring them to the center, otherwise it'll contaminate the whole lot. This is a marketing piece that Alice Recycles that we're using on social media. And then that's a screenshot of the statement that was included in the utility bills. And the Touch a Truck event, as the mayor and council member Bowen talked about, was a success. This past Saturday, we were a little worried about the weather, like y'all said, but it turned out okay. It started sprinkling a little bit there towards the end, but everyone, most of the folks had come and gone by then. There were approximately 684 visits to the event, and most of the visits came from Alice, but there were also a lot of visits from San Diego, Kingsville, Fremont, Robstown, San Antonio, Falfurrias, Yoakum, Portland, and Orange Grove. So it was a pretty far reach of visitors there. Here's some pictures. They had vendors, food vendors. Chick-fil-A was there, Lumpia Express. And of course, City of Alice had vehicles there from various city departments, Parks Recreation, Police Department, Fire Department. And there were a lot of community partners that lent their vehicles out for the entertainment and education of the children. So that's a quick summary. Our library also did a book giveaway at the event. So it was a great community event. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Arlene.
So a quick update on the infrastructure that we are working on. Currently, we're going to replace the water on Scott Street. And they've had a lot of water leaks on there. That's on South Reynolds. And the street's been pretty bad for a while, but we needed to get the water done first. We've been over there for about a week. It's going to be another 2 weeks till we complete that. That street and infrastructure hadn't been touched since it was installed. Hobbs Street, we did that before, half of Hobbs, doing the second half, water and sewer. Now we're going to go ahead and do the street there as well. We're going to move on to Beckham, and that should be about, Beckham should be about 4 weeks away. And that's going to be 2 blocks of that street. The water is new on Beckham, so we'll be able to just do the street on top. And on Front Street, we're going to move to Front Street after that. Just let the public know we'll be there as you're coming west on 44 at that Y. A lot of people use that street, which turns into St. Drive, and that's going to be next on our list. And on 3rd Street, we did do an 8-inch sewer line we replaced between Reynolds and Wright. And on 4th Street, we put a new sewer line in the Magnolia and Kentucky area and a new water line. So some of the projects that we've done and are going to do here in the next month or month and a half. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you for that update. We'll move on to agenda item number 5, presentations. I'm going to open each one of them up, and then I will call you. Okay. We could,
They need to leave because they have a meeting.
yes.
Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Oh, yes. That'll be fine, as long as everyone's in agreement. Y'all
Yeah,
okay?
I'm fine with that,
Okay. I will open each one, and then we'll move to our recognition. And if y'all notice, Whataburger did a beautiful job of decorating our chamber here. Thank you so much. It looks beautiful. I walked in. Okay, so 5.1, presentation and discussion with Priscilla Garcia with Upskill Coastal Bend. 5.2, presentation of recognition to Whataburger's 70 years of recognition. 5.3, presentation of proclamation for Social Work Month 2023. At this time, we'll go ahead and I would like to have Mr. Burke read a little bit of the history
Yes.
that you shared with us, which is beautiful, so let's.
Whataburger celebrating its 70th anniversary. When it opened its doors on February 11th, 1963, 53. Whataburger number 5, located at 1242 East Main Street in Alice, Texas, officially became the brand's first franchise restaurant, operated by a team known as Whataburger of Alice. 70 years later, they now also claim the title of longest running franchise. Established by Joe Andrews Sr., the story goes that Andrews and his wife Louise went to nearby Kingsville to try Whataburger, the new burger joint that had just opened, and enjoyed it so much they called founder Harmon Dobson to inquire about opening a restaurant of their own. Andrews convinced a reluctant Dobson to let him open the brand's first franchise by taking him to an ideal spot for a Whataburger in Alice to show him the vision. The rest is history. On February 11, 2023, Whataburger of Alice kicked off its anniversary celebration by offering food, giveaways, and swag to the community, with plans to host several additional events throughout this year to highlight this major milestone. We're thrilled to celebrate 70 years in Alice and owe our success to the hard work and dedication of our past and present employees and loyal guests, said Kathy Reese, daughter of Joe Andrews Sr. It's been an honor to continue my father's legacy and serve the Hub City. We look forward to continuing to offer our guests a great Whataburger experience by serving up our extensive menu of bold flavors made to order, fresh and hot, with a side of extraordinary hospitality for many years to come. Reese, president of the franchise, owns Whataburger of Alice with her family and operates 2 Alice and 11 Laredo locations. Reese was born and raised in Alice and is a proud 1967 graduate of William Adams High School. Today, Whataburger of Alice continues to invest in the area and is committed to giving back to the communities that have helped them be successful. Andrews was a fervent youth supporter, and the franchise continues to support Whataburger's Feeding Student Success program by donating $36,000 annually to the Alice Independent School District to help stock their pantry with food, supplies, and clothing for students in need.
Wow, awesome, awesome. So at this time, if council would join us, we would like to recognize Whataburger, Miss Kathy Reese, daughter of Joe Andrews Sr., Luis Garza Jr., operating partner, Jeanette Castillo, operating partner, Ignacio Lopez Jr., manager, Crystal Tovar, team member, Rosanna Mendiola, area manager and field marketer. Okay, council. Y'all come up.
This is home. I appreciate y'all. Who wouldn't be here without y'all? Thank you. Love water. Mind you do. I cannot hear that a lot. Thank you. You want to do it over here?
Maybe the two of them.
Y'all should be up in front.
Yeah. This
The two of them.
Don't get over here.
And then we'll get it. Was that? Come on.
You want to come on back here? Come on back. In this picture.
Yes.
It gives us great pleasure, the mayor and the city council of the city of Alice, to present in recognition of Whataburger's 70th anniversary, to present this plaque in honor of 70 years of dedicated service to our community, your customers, and presented to business owner Kathy Reese on this 20th day of March, 2023.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And they put me in the back on a peach crate and gave me collars and scissors. So I grew up in that store.
That's
So,
awesome.
and when I was 13, Daddy said, you'll be at Whataburger at 1:30 to work. And I said, I didn't want to. He said, I didn't ask you. So this is great. I'm glad that we're here. You are home. And Daddy will always be here. And what would we do without Alice? We've loved Alice. We've been a part of Alice. And it's home. So thank you.
Thank y'all.
If you can't see Eddie, if you can put yourself where you can see him, that way he can see you in the picture.
Okay,
Everyone smile.
this way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
And one for the Whataburger.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. So you're so.
Mike, do we want to move this back for the next group of pictures? We're back. Get the front. I'm gonna grab the side.
And some posters. Okay.
Yeah, so that
Thank
means
you.
we're
It was
picture
so
of you
nice to
running
meet
it.
you. You'll have a safe trip. Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
There, congratulations.
Thank you all so much.
Appreciate it.
We'll stay in touch. Okay.
I think this is yours, right? Yes. Okay. Thank y'all.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Thank you. Are we done? Or we staying down here? Or are we coming back down?
No, I'm just going to read the other one.
The other one,
We're done?
I don't think there's anybody here for the
I'm just going to read it because they didn't,
Okay.
They didn't get to
and
make
we'll
it.
deliver it to
They didn't get to
them.
make it, so. Sure. All right.
Okay. The other proclamation, I'm just going to read it. Unfortunately, the social worker wasn't able to be here, so I'll just read the proclamation.
thank you.
Thank y'all.
Odie.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, okay. No, that's okay. I'll get somebody to take them.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Hey, so moving on to the proclamation for social workers. Social workers enter the profession because they have a strong desire to help empower individuals, families, communities, and our nation overcome issues that prevent them from reaching their full potential. Whereas social workers have worked for more than a century to improve the human well-being and enhance the basic needs of all people. Whereas the 2023 Social Work Month theme, Social Work Breaks Barriers, embodies how social workers help empower individuals, families, communities, and our society to overcome hurdles that prevent them from achieving better well-being. Whereas the social work profession is one of the fastest growing careers in the United States, with about 708,000 social workers today and more than 60,000 more social workers expected to enter the profession over the next decade. Whereas social workers have continued to push for changes that have made our society a better place to live, including a livable wage, improved workplace safety, and social safety net programs that help with poverty, hunger, and homelessness. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Cynthia Carrasco, Mayor of the City of Alice, do hereby proclaim month of March 2023 as Social Work Month in Alice, Texas. Thank you. And we'll deliver this to our social workers. Okay. And then, okay, thank you. And now we'll go back up to 5.1. And thank y'all for waiting. We'll have our presentation by Mrs. Priscilla Garcia with Upskill Coastal Bend. Hi, welcome.
Hi. I don't have Whataburger. So. So sorry. My name is Priscilla Garcia. I'm here with Upskill Coastal Bend program. I'm a career navigator with them. Thank you again for allowing us to be here to speak to you.
Can we hear you? Can we hear her?
Okay.
With the microphone?
The purpose of my time here is to talk to you about Upstill Coastal Bend Partnership, which is it is a cooperative effort of workforce education and economic development experts aiming to drive long-term system change to increase the economic vitality of Jim Wells County. Upskill is a fully funded program for now. Our goal here is to help increase the educational and job attainment of people living in rural communities in the Coastal Bend. Mainly to grow post-secondary attainment, increase job placement, reduce education and workforce disparities, establish long-term programs benefiting the entire region, and sustain work locally, preferably. So also we're also trying to align the regional effort to improve the region's economic vitality by focusing on upskilling and reskilling of adults in underserved rural communities. By aligning regional efforts, the project aims to re-engage adults in career preparation programs through awareness, support, and expanded partnerships. The ultimate goal is to transform rural areas into strategically aligned, connected regional ecosystem in which communities take ownership for interactions and outcomes. Some of the programs and services that we offer are adult literacies, associate's degrees, ESL, bachelor's degrees, technical certifications, help with financial aid, scholarships, maintaining your GED or HIC. That includes helping with job applications, financial literacy, youth opportunities unlimited, career exploration activities, interviewing skills, helping with resumes, apprenticeships, internships, interview skills. And we also partner with several different other programs as well, including Coastal Bend College, Del Mar College, and Texas A&M Kingsville, Texas A&M Corpus, Workforce Solutions at the Coastal Bend, Education and Employment. These are all just some of the programs that we work with. What we are asking of the community of y'all is that if you can help us to spread the word on the Upstill program in the community, we'd like to be invited to participate in any kind of community events that may benefit from our services in the community. We are here to help with anything that can help provide adults to go back to school or get their GED, anything like that. We are here to help them start the process to reach that goal. Is there any questions? Anything for me?
Council, any questions or any?
If there's not any questions, thank you all again for having us here.
Yes, yes, sir.
May I ask a question, Mayor?
Of course.
Thank you. What's the local address that you are at?
So currently, we are being housed at 614 South Reynolds. We will possibly be moving to a different location, but by contacting myself or Dr. Mueller, who is also my partner here, we can also set up appointments to meet with the person privately somewhere else in a public location if need be. We do also have a location in San Diego and in Brooks County in Falfurrias. We are looking to expand larger and go bigger, hopefully to help more of the rural communities in the area and move forward.
So 619, 614?
614.
614 South Reynolds. And phone number?
South
South
Reynolds, yes.
And is there a phone
Yes.
number they can reach you at?
But we will be probably looking to be housed somewhere else.
Is there-
But we do have flyers that will be passed out to you. That does have a scan code that can give your information, as well as my contact information, as well as Dr. Muller's contact information. Our main office is located in Corpus, actually at the old Mary Carroll High School. So if you do have any questions, you can also direct them there. Jeff West.
And to answer your question, her phone number is on the business card. We are leaving business cards for both. And I believe we left them.
She just
I didn't get any.
The best,
Okay, so we'll need her business card as well, and my card has my number as well. We will have the QR code attached to the flyer, and so the QR code will also leave them an opportunity to reach Ms. Garcia or myself, and they are going to be able to make direct contact with us. And that's what we want. We just want your support so that they can contact us and we can connect them back to education, to a better job, and we can assist them.
So
That's
do you,
all we're wanting.
do you guys have a problem if the city manager places this on our website?
Share your card.
We'd love that, actually.
right now, people can go to, is this correct, www.upskillcoastalbend.org?
That is
One word?
And it will give them
More information.
So, yeah,
And I will say that one of the first events we're participating in is this coming weekend with the Alice ISD.
Yes.
We will have a
Parent
table set up
involvement.
there with our information as well. Myself will be there, Dr. Marler will be there. So we will be there in person also to present. Anybody is welcome to come and speak to us. We'll be able to spread our information out, get it out to the adults,
We're all
the
about
parents.
re-engaging people who want to go back to school or who want
Do
to
you
get a
mi-
paying job.
Doctor,
So that's what we want.
do you mind coming to, so they can hear? what you have to- I'm so sorry.
We are all about wanting to re-engage anyone who's wanting to go back to school or want a better paying job and direct them in that direction. If they're needing to go back and get a GED, and we start there, it's all about where they need to get started so that we can be able to start them there. And so for now, we are just wanting to get out there so that we can provide that service. And so that's all we want from you, is to help promote so that we can help your community.
I have a-
And to be involved as much as possible.
Right.
Yes.
I have a quick question. I'm the Vice Chair for Workforce Services of the Coastal Bend, but I know I've seen y'all partnered up with Workforce.
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit what that partnership is that you do with Workforce?
We work in conjunction with Workforce, and so we're partnered with Workforce here, we're partnered with Workforce in Corpus, and so we're blended, we're just an extension. And so we're all working together to get to that same goal. And again, we're trying to serve the underserved in the rural communities. And so we're trying to get into these rural communities to help, because a lot of times people in the smaller communities don't go seek out into the larger urban areas. And so we're coming out into the smaller rural communities to help in these communities.
True.
And hopefully to also, once they do get started on that, to help also provide local jobs, to keep it in the community.
Great.
Local jobs in the community, keep them going to school here locally.
So we
And
want to
keep
grow
all
within
business.
this community. We want the community to grow.
Good. I did attend a presentation, but I just wanted to make sure that the citizens heard that and know about all that good information.
Yes, we want this community to grow. We want the people in the community to expand and grow, and we want everything in Jim Wells to continue to grow and stay here and grow.
Wonderful.
We're
Thank
not
you all.
wanting to take people out of the community. We want everything here to grow.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you for your service.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other questions?
How are y'all funded?
Right now, we're funded through grants, and so again, as we said, for now, we are fully funded. In time, as every grant runs out, but in time, we're going to just wait and see how that can sustain it maybe itself, but that's for talks down the road. For now, it's fully funded. And as she said, we are in the southern part, we are in Duval, we are in Jim Wells, and we're in Brooks, and we're expanding to the north. And so we're going to be in San Pat, and
Aransas?
in Aransas. And so we're just getting to start expanding in that area, but, we're hoping so that eventually it will be able to sustain itself.
Why, thank you.
Great.
That's a
Yes.
great service for our community, and like you said, hopefully help some individuals further their education or their skill set. So
Yes.
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Coming, appreciate it.
Thank you. I have one here if you want. Odie. Oh, she got it. Okay. Okay, moving on to our consent agenda. All consent agenda items are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests. In which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and voted on separately. Okay, I will open each one of these and then ask council after I open them up if there's anything you wish to have removed. 6.1, discuss, consider, and act upon approval of city council minutes for the February 21st, 2023 city council meeting and minutes for the March 6, 2023 special city council meeting. 6.2, discuss, consider, and act upon adopting an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Alice approving, presiding, and alternate election judges for the voting precincts/places, early voting ballot board, and presiding and alternate judges of the central counting station on election day. Designation of a central counting station, providing for early voting ballot board, central counting station observation, central counting station, and individuals to serve as presiding judge and alternate judge of the central counting station on election day, providing for a savings and separability clause and effective date. 6.3, discuss, consider, and act upon approving a final plat being 1.50 acres, as described in a gift deed from Southwest Motor Transport, Inc., to the City of Alice dated October 29, 2001, and recorded in Volume 770, page 359 of the official records, Jim Wells County, Texas. 6.4, discuss, consider, and act upon approving a final plat map being a subdivision of 3.58 acres and a replat of a portion of the R.M. Garza edition, a map which is recorded in Volume 5, page 36 of the map of Jim Wells County, Texas. 6.5, discuss, consider, and act upon approving final plat of 1.398 acres and being Lot 1 Alice Shopping Center, Phase 6, as shown on map recorded in Volume 12, page 65. Map records of Jim Wells County, Texas, and being out of Lots 3, Block 6 of the Adams Presnell Farm Tracts, as shown on map recorded in Volume 1, page 12, map records of Jim Wells County, Texas. Okay. I did have a couple of questions, but but there were replats, so I will leave it to council how y'all feel if you want to leave them all under consent agenda. Council?
I'm okay with leaving them.
I'm fine.
I'm good.
Okay. If we're all okay, and I'll entertain a motion at this time.
Mayor, I make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second. Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Okay, all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, thank you. Agenda item number 7, individual consideration. 7.1, sorry.
May I clarify just a couple things?
Sure.
That we're approving them as presented, but and specifically the minutes, but then in regards to the replats on 6.3, 6.4, and 6.5, we are approving the final plats as presented in each of those agenda items for clarification. Is that the motion?
Yes. Do you
To
want me
restate it?
Restate it?
Okay,
Okay.
Mayor,
thank you.
Okay.
And then additionally, in regards to, we're adopting an ordinance of the City Council, the City of Alice, approving, presiding, and alternate election judges, et cetera, as under 6.2. So it'd probably be best to specifically identify the approval under that one as well.
Okay, so, okay. We will restate
A motion.
Okay.
the motion.
And, okay, and so probably be best is that your general motion is to approve the agenda items as presented, specifically approving the 6.2, adopting an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Alice approving, presiding, and alternate election judges for voting precincts, places, early voting ballot board, and presiding and alternate judges of the Central Counting Station on Election Day, designation of Central Counting Station, providing for early voting ballot board, Central Counting Station observation, Central Counting Station, and individuals to serve as presiding judges, and alternate judge of the Central Counting Station on Election Day, providing for a savings and severability clause and effective date, as well as approving the final plat as presented under consent agenda 6.3, approving a final plat as presented under consent agenda 6.4, and approving a final plat as presented under agenda 6.5.
Mayor, I make a motion as stated.
I second.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Okay,
Nobody can say it better than legal.
okay, so we have,
And we still don't
All
even-
in favor?
we have a first and a second on the restated motion. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Lemon, for the clarification.
Thank you, John.
Okay. Okay, so moving on to our agenda item number 7, individual considerations. 7.1, discuss, consider, and act upon a resolution suspending for 45 days the effective date proposed by CenterPoint Energy Resources Corp., doing business as CenterPoint Energy NTEX and CenterPoint Energy Texas Gas South Texas, in its application filed on or about March 2nd, 2023 pursuant to Section 104.301 of the Gas Utility Regulatory Act. Okay?
Mayor and Council, we have Mr. Eugenio Garcia with CenterPoint to talk about the agenda item.
Mayor, Council. I'm Eugenio Garcia with CenterPoint Energy. We're located at 101 North King. The rate, it's a rate adjustment that was filed through Railroad Commission that we filed on May 2nd, and the effective date would be May 1st. Now, if the City Council decides to suspend, that gives an additional 45 days or from that time period to July 6 on the rate increase will be on a minimal bill. The minimal bill increase that we're proposing is $3.72, which now the new minimal bill will be $30.35. An average gas bill for a heat furnace, stove, and water heaters averaging about $50. So what this will affect is our meters that are just out there and not doing anything, just vacant properties and stuff like that. That's the increase that will take effect most of the time. So it's up to the council to suspend, given additional 45 days for billing cycles to take place, which won't take effect till, like I was saying, until June 15th.
Okay. Council, any questions? Mr. Chris?
No, this is, like you said, this is just for those that don't actually use anything. This is y'all's rate increase, and this is allowing the city to postpone that for what, roughly 2 billing cycles?
Yes, sir.
Roughly 2 billing cycles? Okay.
And that, it also allows the Railroad Commission to make their final determination to accept or deny our recommendation. This is, the rate increase is through Railroad Commission. They're the ones that govern us, so they'll either approve it or deny it. But if they were to approve it before May, the billing cycle won't take place till July because we're doing the suspension for it.
If I
Yes, sir, go ahead.
And Mr. Garcia has come every time when this comes up, and he's very honest with us. Of course, he works for Centerpoint, but basically it allows the Railroad Commission more time to review the process, and more often than not, it gets adjusted. And in the favor of the consumer, not in favor of the company. And so we would recommend, staff would recommend that you guys go ahead and approve the suspension resolution.
Okay. Done it every year.
Mr.
I'm
Money?
good, thank you.
Mr. Burke? Mrs. Bowen?
I'm fine.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lemon, we have someone that represents us in this.
Yes,
correct?
this was, and Mr. Odata, last time, we sent it to him when we got notification. This time, he sent it to us. And, but yes, we're part of a consortium. San Marcos is part of the consortium with us. And, you know, and they're pretty good keeping track of it, and so is Mr. Garcia. Mr. Garcia comes and he lets us know, you know, just Johnny on the spot.
Thank you. Okay. If there's no further discussion or questions, I'll entertain a motion for this agenda item.
Mayor, I make a motion to adopt the resolution as stated.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Mr. Lemon, is that satisfactory?
Yes, Your Honor, because I requested that you all approve the resolution suspending.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes. Thank you. 7.2, discuss, consider, and act upon authorizing city manager to enter and sign a contract with GoTo Connect to upgrade phones at city office. Okay, who will be speaking on this?
Jim.
Mr. X.
Jim's
Mr.
been
X,
working on
thank
this
you.
for a while. Our current vendor contract expired, and Jim and John have been working on this for a long time. On the contract and language, and finally got to a point, we were able to get a government addendum that kind of fit us instead of a regular contract that, for corporations. Go ahead, Jim.
Yes, and the background is our phone system's about 4.5 years old. The phones were leased to own, so we own them now. That finished, I think, last summer. So they're starting to die, they're starting to break, and we'll have to buy new ones. This contract will give us 100 free new phones that are better than the phones we have now. We'll still lease about 20 of the more executive models. And then when we looked at what was available nowadays, there's a lot better features available for the systems. And GoTo Connect is the vendor that we chose out of the 4 that we talked to. And they're worldwide, so the quality is there, and the ability to answer your phone on your cell phone. There's an app for that. There's a soft phone on your computer, and then the phone, your desk phone. You can unplug it and take it wherever you, or if you want to take it on vacation, you can unplug it and take it on your vacation. I don't know if I'd recommend it. Or you can answer it on your phone on the app there. So it's got a bunch of benefits and 0 implementation cost. It should not be too painful to implement because they're going to configure all the phones and send them to us. We'll basically plug them in and then figure our call flow and stuff like that.
Council, Mr. Chris,
No, thank you.
Mr. Molina,
I'm good.
Mr. Burke, Mrs. Bowen?
No, thank you.
Okay, so you said 100 free phones? And then,
Free, yes.
and, okay,
20 of them we'll lease, and it'll be about $15 a month, I think, to lease those. But they'll be leased to own, so we'll eventually own those as well.
okay. And so how much more is it going to cost us, the financial impact? Or
It's going to actually be less than we're paying now, or right
Okay.
at the same price. It depends if because GoTo Connect is included, which means every one of us, every user can set up their own meetings with GoTo Connect and have up to 100 participants, share screens, gets recorded in the cloud, all that. We could cancel the Zoom memberships that we have that total over $400 a month. And so that would save us actually $400 a month more over what we're paying right now. We're paying about $2,300 right now, so that would put it like below $2,000 at that point.
Okay.
Wow. Sorry,
Go
this
ahead.
is the one that y'all brought forward like 2 meetings ago or a meeting ago, and that y'all asked to table because, John asked to table because So at that point, I remember y'all had stated, I think Arlene was here also, maybe helping you make the presentation, that it was actually cheaper, and y'all were trying to lock in a rate at that time, but as recommended by our city attorney, it was, and I'm happy to see that rate decreased. Monthly expense is actually low, it still continued, so thank you.
Yeah, they've been very patient with us. Yes.
With me.
And with the software or whatever comes with the package, because I didn't get to see the contract or anything, but is there protections in there, security, those type of things? Or is this something totally separate?
Yes, I mean, the company we have now is called Granite Net, and they're out of Florida. So they're a smaller operator, and they don't have the same kind of infrastructure and probably not the same kind of security as a big company like GoToConnect is.
Okay. Okay, and I wanted to ask, on the addendum that was presented to us, number 3, section 7, I just wanted to, is that, you're okay with that?
And I would have to tell you that
Yeah, the entire contract John had reviewed, and there was questions on that. That's why we went and got the addendum, the government addendum.
Okay, but
And Mayor, what you're referring to is you're referring to the indemnification, and
Yeah.
you're saying basically that they're waiving any indemnification they might have to hold to us. And that in my discussions with administration, yes, with this contract, is it the way that I would want it to be? No. Okay, I can sit and look you in the eye and tell you that. But I'm not going to have to work with the implementation of the contract, administration and Jim are, and that there's certain things and certain nuances in this field that they're like, well, that's not really going to be a problem because this and such. And I can tell you that Mr. Esparza and Mr. Hicks are both confident that they'll be able to work with this contract, and it's going to cost the city less money, and for me not to worry and be as nitpicky as I need to be. But yes, Your Honor, or yes, Mayor, it does specifically say that number 7, indemnification shall be deleted to remove any reference to indemnification obligations of the customer. And really what they're taking out, so you don't misread that, the way that I understand it is that we're not going to have obligations to indemnify them, okay? Because it's shall be deleted to remove any reference to indemnification obligations of the customer. And we would be the customer. And so, I guess I kind of backed into it, but I wanted to explain how, no, I don't necessarily like it, but the entirety of the contract, but there's really nothing wrong with this sentence right here. This is the governmental addendum that actually Jim was finally able to get him to send us. And I like this a lot better. This answers some of the questions that I had.
okay, well, I appreciate it, thank you. Okay. So if there's no further questions or discussion in reference to this agenda item, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion authorizing the city manager to enter and sign a contract with GoToConnect, upgrade phones for our city of Alice. Offices.
Okay, we have a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Say aye, I'm sorry, okay. All opposed, say sign, okay, so, motion passes. Thank you so much, thank you, Mr. Hicks.
Thank you, thank everyone.
Yeah, appreciate it. John?
You too, John. Okay. 7.3, discuss, consider, and act upon approving to enter into an interlocal agreement with Duval County. Will we be discussing that? Okay.
So, thank you, Mayor, members of the council, our city manager, city attorney, thank you for having me here. So in reviewing the contract that has been handed to us by Duval County, I would like to ask this council to table it and let us go back, and there's some changes that we need to make. And so I'm asking this council also to give me the authority to continue negotiations with Duval County on this matter. And
So we don't want them to table it. We'd like for them to approve or to allow you to specifically allow you to continue negotiations in regards to it with Duval County.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
So allow me the opportunity to negotiate with Duval County. Only some changes that we do need to make on the contract, and that was something that John picked up on. So I said we better look at it a little closer. So with that in mind, I present it to this council, and hopefully we can proceed.
Now,
And-
the agenda item says discuss, consider, and act upon approving to enter into an interlocal agreement, so
Mayor,
how,
we really can't do anything, just,
Well-
then we'd request you go ahead and table it.
Table it.
We can,
Just go ahead and
table it with him.
We'll bring it back.
And he's already, he already has
He
authority
already
to enter
has-
negotiation, to negotiate it, so yeah.
so,
Really, it's just, it's what we call precatory. In the language, legal language, it's not necessary because he has the authority to.
Write that down.
You remember that, that was something that we had discussed on another item. And so really, he has the authority to negotiate on behalf of the city. You all have the ability to approve it, so
okay.
you can go ahead and table it.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
So we'll recommend tabling it and bringing it back at a future
Yes, ma'am.
date.
Our
Thank
next
you.
council. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, so we've tabled this with no action, moving on to.
Motion to table, sorry.
Well, I was saying, we can, with no motion, I mean,
Yeah,
with no
otherwise it's
action.
No action taken.
Yeah.
We're not doing no action, right?
Okay.
Okay, so moving on to 7.4, discuss, consider, and act upon authorizing city manager to conduct an auction for the sale of various City of Alice personal property, including but not limited to city-owned building/house located behind the recycling center located at 103 West 3rd, Alice, Texas, and authorizing city manager to take all action necessary to conduct auction.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Ms.
So
Medrano.
we're doing some spring cleaning throughout all of our departments, and so we did a call for auction items that departments have sort of accrued over the years that they'd like to dispose of that are no longer either usable by any department or are just broken, to be perfectly honest. So we've partnered with an auction house that has been used by the police department and maybe by one other department. And the house in particular that is located behind the recycling center will be amongst those things that we would like to auction off as we don't have a use for it.
For clarity, we're just talking about the structure and it needing to be removed
Correct.
from the property, not the actual property as a whole.
Correct.
Including the lots.
Just the building.
Building, yes.
Just the building. Okay. Council, any other discussion? Mr. Chris, any questions or anything else?
Hopefully we can get somebody to take it.
Okay. Mr. Molina?
Thank you, Arlene.
Mr. Burke?
No.
I'm sorry.
Mrs. Bowen?
No, thank you.
I do actually, one more.
Okay, sure.
When would we expect it to be on the block? I know they do like 30-day or 60-day and they start it.
It's
Like
5.
Bradford or somebody like that I've
It's-
seen in the past. for it
It's
to be
April.
used.
It'll be April 11th through 18th, and it'll be online.
April 11th through the, what,
18th.
18th.
So it'll
11th
be
through
on-
18th?
So it'll be an online auction, so they'll come starting next week to take pictures of everything. So we have a list of all of the equipment and old desks and vehicles. things like
And
that.
we'll throw that list and the link to the website on our Facebook
Yes.
and our website.
Yes, and we'll do the required postings in the newspaper and things like that, yeah.
Very good.
How are we approaching value? Are we establishing any kind of reserve, or how are we approaching or establishing
value
value
of
for the
resale
auction
something like that.
items?
And they're just gonna follow the ordinance, and that sometimes you all establish, the council goes ahead and sets a reserve if it's a larger item or whatnot that we're selling, and they have done that in the past. In this, the last auction we conducted, I think they used Bradshaw's auction service. They just took photographs, put it up, and then the highest bidder is what came in and did it. If this was something that you all can set the way the auction is run if you want. However, it's just, more
Cumbersome?
streamlined, easier to administer if you have one auction company doing it. You could come in and say that you want to approve every sale to see if that value is correct, but other than this house, more often than not, what the city is selling is something that we really don't value over just a few dollars anyway. And actually, the city manager has approved these types of auctions in the past.
We're bringing this one forward because the house is included.
Because it's definitely going to have a value of $1,000, we feel. And so that's why it's here. And if I can answer a question Arlene sent me yesterday afternoon, yes, you're going to need another contract or to add to that.
I
contract.
agree, yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
Okay. And then, one other question, and we did clarify that this was no longer under those specifications for the grant that, or, I don't
Yes.
know, whatever was tied to it,
Yes,
to this house. Okay. Okay.
As I was told.
Yes, sir. Yes.
One question, and it may not be directly related, but, at the city garage property, we have all those vehicles, and I don't know what all the current status or conditions are of them, but what is their eventual fate? Because they seem like many have been there for years, and I was just wondering if that's,
They'll be included in the auction, yeah, so they'll be off our lot.
it's getting real congested.
Exactly, which is why, the reason we're due for an auction to help clear space. Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay. I just, being a realtor, that house, I see more value in sometimes. But okay.
Okay.
Well, thank y'all.
The detriment in that is having to move it.
Yes,
It's moving it,
oh,
it's getting it out of there and it
that cost
retaining
has
structure.
doubled, if not tripled, just to move the house, yes.
The buyer will have to move.
Right, we'll incur those costs.
And there will be, I know that they have restrictions on that, must be removed by a certain date.
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a big deal.
Okay.
So hopefully somebody comes in and takes it away.
Helps us out, does us a favor.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
So if no further questions or any discussion on this agenda item, I'll entertain a motion.
May I make a motion to authorize the city manager to conduct an auction for the sale of various City of Alice personal property, including but not limited to city-owned building/house located behind the recycling center located at 103 West 3rd, Alice, Texas, and authorizing city manager to take all action necessary to conduct auction.
Okay. We have a first and a second. Well, we have a first. I don't know, did I hear a
Second.
second? Okay.
No, I think Ron did. Yeah.
I'm sorry. First and a second, all in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Arlene.
Thank you. 7.5, discuss, consider, and act upon adopting a resolution opting into the I can't say that,
Opioid.
opioid, oh my goodness, national settlement with Allegra, CVS, Walmart, and Walgreens, and adopting the Texas term sheet, and additional allowing the city manager to execute all necessary documentation and take all necessary action on behalf of the city of Alice.
I get to do this one.
You do? Okay. Thank
Nobody
you.
else wanted. But this is the exact same suit that you've been involved in, that you had already opted into with the national opioid settlement the state of Texas is involving in. Just as a refresher, we as a municipality in the state of Texas or a sub-government entity, we have to opt into the program or the case to be able to reap the benefits from it. There are several communities that have private counsel, actually across the United States in these regards. However, the state of Texas is representing us as part of this class. But anyway, and as we get into it, they have come up with a settlement. The names you just read, Mayor, the Allegra, CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart, is that they had entered into a settlement on this, and actually you got notification back early February that it was coming. And so as of February 22nd, we were notified that they had gone ahead and reached a settlement, and it's been approved by the court. And so now it's up to us to fill out the same documentation that we've done in the past and to go ahead and submit it. Michael is our designee in those regards, and Ms. Rodriguez, our clerk, is the one that takes care of submitting that stuff. Right now, I think she told me it's about $22,000 that we've been paid today on previous case. That's not the overall amount now, and Ms. Rodriguez did receive an estimate on what our share, and this is only an estimate, on what our share from this would be. And they estimate $9,569.94 from Allergan. They estimate $21,509.66 from CVS. They estimate $24,068.23 from Walgreens, and they estimate $12,032.66 from Walmart. Of course, again, it could be Moss or Meadows, but those are the estimates.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you,
You guys got
council.
any questions?
What can that money be spent on?
And, you know, that is something that we're looking into.
And we have a,
'Cause I'm sure they're gonna have,
And
they're
we
gonna have
we have
regulatory.
a direction, a directive as to things we can, but just exactly, it's what we can tie it to.
Okay, roughly 67 is what I came up as. You were throwing numbers out there. So, okay, thank you.
Mr.
I'm
Wood?
good, thank you.
Mr. Burke?
No, okay.
Mrs. Bowen?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. And
We
we,
would recommend approval and passing a resolution, Mayor, but I'm sorry, what was?
no, I was just gonna say, and then, so each, I saw that we have to file for each one a separate, like, application or something?
Well, for each segment
The
of the
opt-in.
approved settlement, we have to apply. I'm going to tell you is that, you know, we'll look at the paperwork, and if it's one for each defendant, okay, then we'll submit as to each defendant.
Okay. All right. So if we have no other questions in reference to this agenda item, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, make a motion, adopt the resolution as stated.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, council.
Thank you, John.
7.6, discuss, consider, and act upon approving an application for tax refund, R-Tagle, account number 11645-003-000-00, Hillcrest Edition number 3, Lot 15 and Lot 16, Block 15, City of Alice, Jim Wells County, Texas.
Mayor and council, this is a person that applied for the 100% veteran exemption. They'd already paid their taxes, so this is coming back for a refund. It's going to all the entities, and the refund amount from the city on their property taxes is $719.74. It's over the $500, so it needs a signature from the city of Alice, and it needs your guys' approval.
Okay. Council, any questions? Mrs. Bowen?
No, thank you.
No. Mr. Burke?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Mr. Molina?
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Chris?
No, ma'am.
Okay. If there's no further discussion or questions in reference to this agenda item, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion approving an application for for tax refund for R-Tagle account number 11645-003-000-00, Hillcrest Edition number 3, Lot 15 and Lot 16, Block 15, City of Alice, Jim Wells County, Texas.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, council. Next agenda item, I didn't,
We're going to request to table that agenda item.
No action.
Okay, no action.
so, okay, since we will table and no further action, we'll move on to agenda item 7.8. Here discuss and act upon a presentation concerning staffing, operations, intergovernmental cooperation, equipment usage, procurement, and crime/arrest prosecution data of the Alice Police Department. Welcome again, Chief.
Thank you for having me.
Chief.
As you know, every day we have something going on in our city, and I see a great the need that we have and the circumstances that we face each and every day. But big thank you to BT Church for the touch truck. I thought it was awesome, and the officers were really happy to be a part of that. So again, thank you for that. So we're going to talk a little bit about the stats for 2023. This is from January the 1st to March the 10th, I believe, and that's what these stats entail. So 2023 programs. In 2023, the Alice Police Department will be expanding on current programs as well as enacting ones such as Citizens on Patrol. As you all know, we do have a Citizens on Patrol Academy going on right now. We're in our 5th week, I believe. So right now we have a total of 10 individuals that are a part of the Citizens Patrol Academy. So it's basically being a liaison for the police department once they graduate. So this program is 14 weeks long. It's been really, really positive. And so what happens is that now these individuals, and again, this is something that we plan on doing, is get them out there. They're the extra set of eyes for us. If they want to patrol, they want to get out there, they can't make stops or anything of that nature. But they're already asking for the ability to stop cars. But again, this is something that has really been needed, and I think it allows also the individuals to understand what we go through as law enforcement and how they can help us, how they can and how we can serve them. And so this is it's been really cool. Also, we'll talk about our animal adoption, spreading awareness of vacant buildings. And thank you to Patrick and his staff for helping us on that, and especially we're just following following Patrick's footsteps on this. We also have our drone program, our license plate readers that we'll be establishing, and because there's some new things that are coming out that we've already ordered with some monies that we had left over. And our mobile camera system. So here at 2023 crime stats. So property crimes, 2023 stats for property crimes total 155 total offenses since January 1st till now. Property crime includes any theft or damage to property belonging to one another. Of these property crimes, burglary habitation, we've had 8. Burglary of vehicle, we've had 9. Burglary of a building, we've had 15. Total is 42. And I'm going to share something with you. Remember that number 42, if you don't mind. So also, we look at assault offenses. For 2023, a report of a total of 70 assaults. Assaults is classified as causing bodily injury to one another or to another, and that also could include a family member, fights that occur, maybe simple assaults, maybe to aggravated assaults, all the way to our felonies. So that also includes, so we've had a total of 70 for this year, as of now. Arrests. So far in 2023, Alice police officers apprehended 295 total suspects. That's as of January 1st to March the 10th. Property crimes accounted for 25 arrests. That's 60%. So if you go back, there was 42. We've arrested 25. So that's 60% of arrests made on those. Now, that's not to say that those individuals were responsible for more than one burglary. Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty good number. That's way above the state average. So I'm really proud of the officers.
Chief, I'll step here and just tell you that on that same line item, I had a friend of mine who I happened to run into, and he wanted to commend you guys. His business got broken into, and I think it happened like a couple of months ago. I just saw him last week, and he said that like in 2 days you guys had caught the guy that had done that, and he was impressed with how everything worked so quickly and how professional your guys were. So I wanted to pass it on to you also.
Thank you, sir.
We're all here.
As an officer, as a chief of police, it makes you feel good. And these are stories that we do this every day. We're arresting people every day, and when you hear from people like this, it really knows what you're doing. And again, we don't do it for the gratification. We do it because it's our job. But it goes a long way when you are thanked and given a pat in the back. So thank you that individual, and I know the guys worked hard. And actually, that was broken with that case was solved with game cameras that we installed around his property. So it was pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
So thank you again. Assaults accounted for 46 arrests. So a total 2,940 calls for service. That's calls coming in, people reporting. We're going out. We're making calls. We're making contact with the individuals. And 610 documented traffic stops as of January the 1st. Criminal Investigation Division, the Alice Speedy Criminal Investigation Division continues to conduct investigations to locate offenders for these crimes. In 2023, the Criminal Investigation Division has obtained 49 warrants for arrest. So of all the cases that we've been working on, of all the incidents that have occurred, they've issued 49 arrests. That's besides the 295 arrests that the officers have made out on the streets, this is a follow-up to that, right? So what they do is they get the reports, they follow up on the reports, they investigate the incident, and then they go and they make the arrest once they have enough evidence to go on. So here's our Citizens on Patrol. In 2023, the Alice PD enacted a new program known as Citizens on Patrol. This program will look to improve crime prevention by empowering citizens of Alice to patrol their neighborhoods and report any suspicions or criminal behavior to the Alice PD. So again, we've had 10 members out there. They're here I think it's every Thursday from 6 to 8. They partake. We have different officers present in different segments of the program. We also have Texas Ranger. We'll have people from the district attorney's office. That way, the community, they're able to know a little bit of what goes on out there in our community and why it's happening and why it's prosecuted and why we turn this case in this way. And it also, when they go out there and other people say, well, why did this happen? They can answer and they can be a liaison for us and they can be the eyes and ears for us also. So we would also like for them to one day be able to patrol. Now, again, this is something that we're thinking of. And my officers have asked, and I haven't met with council, so I'll be careful on how I word this real carefully. But, once they're able to go out, maybe once they graduate, being able to work the carnival, to work different functions where they can park cars, maybe just be eyes and ears and we can have a jacket for them or a vest and have a flashlight and just to be there out there helping people. Whether it's walking them to their cars, being out there with the individuals during our carnival, whatever the program may be, they're there to help us and assist us. So I think that would be pretty good for us. So animal control, the Alice PD and the Animal Control Division are aware of the growing problems with stray animals throughout the city. Animal control continues to make citizens aware of the laws and ordinances related to animal ownership and care, while also holding accountability for those not in compliance. So in 2023, Animal Control expanded vehicle fleet with a new vehicle. So it just came in. We just had it striped. So we'll be bringing it sometime this week or next week so we can take a picture with the vehicle. It's a really nice truck. So it's a 2023, I believe, Ford F-150. So that's been really positive for us. And I know the guys, they were very excited about getting a new truck. And they hadn't had one in a long time. So I thank you. Thank you, sir, for everything you do for us and you continue to do for us. I thank you, Mike, for that. Enacted a new program to promote animal adoptions by utilizing social media to attract responsible owners that has resulted in 46 adoptions. So every day we're bringing in dogs. Sometimes, and I talk to this council quite often about this. You'll see our numbers are up, but we always trying to get adoptions out there, make sure people are coming adopting dogs. And we do have different shelters that come in, maybe pick them up and help us with them. So we really try hard to make sure that our dogs are adopted. And sometimes we keep them. We've had some for a long time. So I won't tell you how long, but we have. So here's the vacant buildings. In 2023, there has been an increase in subjects trespassing in vacant buildings around the city. This in turn brings concern among citizens residing in those neighborhoods. So a lot of it, what we also been seeing is a lot of action, some homeless going into these homes that are vacant. Not necessarily vacant where there's nothing, maybe a loved one passed away, so the house is alone, and they've been scouring the area and they know no one's, there hasn't been any movement, so they'll go into those homes. So what we've done, as you know, the no trespassing, we've been posting these signs. I hope that you've seen them throughout our community. So people also have been contacting our agency in order to get these signs out there. And I know you're saying just, maybe the people say it's just a sign, but it's a step in the right direction. We want to make sure that people are aware, because by posting that sign out there, now they know it's no trespassing. They can be arrested. We don't have to go and remind them. There's a sign there already says no trespassing, so they can be arrested right then and there. To combat this issue, the Alice PD is increasing patrols in these areas and also placing no trespassing signs on these properties. And so what we've also done is to try to fight the issues that we're having is after a certain hour during the night, you're not going to see a lot of units within our main streets. We're going now into the neighborhoods and concentrating more in our neighborhoods. And I've seen personally a decrease in crime rate, So it's been really positive for us, whereas we're looking for speeders and so that's why we have our radars and that's why we have our LPRs out in the highway. They're able to take care of that for us, and that's all electronic. It doesn't cost us anything.
Right.
So that's been very positive for us. So what we're doing now, we're going into the neighborhoods, we're able to patrol, and so it's been really positive for us. So now we have also our drone program. So in 2021, the Alice PD began utilizing an aerial drone for special operations and emergency response situations. So we've been very fortunate that we've been able to purchase these drones. It's been very positive for us. So these are some of the things that we look forward to. We're looking to purchase another drone. We're applying through a grant through Border Star, and hopefully if all goes through, we'll have an additional 3 drones to our fleet. So it's been pretty good for us. License plate readers, as you notice, as you're coming in from Corpus, you'll notice that there are license plate readers in the highway. And it kind of looks like a speed limit, and it tells you whether you're speeding, but actually it's reading your license plates. And so it also takes pictures. So always be careful. So, but expanding on these things, so we did have some monies left that we have put aside from Lone Star, and I went ahead and okayed that money. We have to utilize it for something, and we looked at what we can utilize it for. We do have an LPR, so license plate readers. So what we're doing is we're purchasing license plate readers now that we're going to be able to put on our city streets. So in areas that are high crime rates or that we're seeing an increase in crime, we're going to put them out there and we can see who's out there at all hours of the night. So that we're purchasing, again, at no cost to the city, no cost to this community. Most of the equipment that we've had has been no cost to our community as a whole. So that's been pretty good. Right now we have 1 LPR. We do have a second one, a second trailer coming in, and then the ones that we've ordered 4, so we'll have a total of 6 in our community. So you've also seen one of these, and it's parked outside of the CID building. That's our mobile camera system. So if we have events, we could set up this camera system. You can see it from inside the police department. You can see it from inside City Hall if you so desire. In case we have, we can put it out at parking lots, HEB, Walmart. You have events, we can place it, put it out there, and we can monitor it. We don't have to be there. We can monitor it, and so we can remotely by our phones. And there's other areas and other ways that we can utilize this equipment. But it has, one side has 4 cameras, the other one's pant tilt, so as we can move it around, we can zoom in, zoom out, and it's a deterrent. And it's really positive. I know some of you probably have seen these in Corpus, at Home Depot and other areas. But now we have them here in Alice. We have ordered, or we have requested another one, a second one through another grant. So we're hoping that that comes through for us. And then Patrol and Traffic Division, as you know, that we've already, we've received additional 4 new cars. So that will put us at 8 new cars. And so we're excited. And I know we ordered these last year, but it's taken a long time. So actually, we're still missing 1 car, still hasn't arrived. So we're waiting for those to come on in. Once those units have come in, and then we can start hopefully parking the old units that we've had running for some time. So it's going to be pretty exciting for us. Any questions along those lines?
Council, Mr. Chris?
Yeah, just on that mobile camera system, that has a digital storage that's located somewhere? Question mark?
Correct. So, yes, so it does. So you have, there is an area where it's stored, it's a web-based, or it's a cloud-based, I'm sorry. And so, yes, it can be stored, and we can always go back and review it at any time that we so desire. And in conclusion, let me add, I did talk to the officers because we were looking at some of the streets and there's trash. So the officers and I have got together, and I've met with some of the local business owners that have these trash haulers, and they've donated their time along with the officers. We'll be meeting, hopefully do it maybe every other month or once a month. We haven't decided, but we are planning a date where we're going to pick one street. We're going to clean up that street. And again, it's our time. It's not overtime. And the business owners have put their time also at no cost to the city. So that's something also that we've planned to do.
That's awesome.
Another question?
Yes, please.
610 documented traffic stops. We used to get a report or a number on how many actual tickets were issued from those from those stops themselves.
Yes, sir.
And why those stops occurred. Is that something that we can get again?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I'll make sure I have it for you, and I'll have it for you by tomorrow, and I'll send them.
No worries, just email it when you get a
problem,
chance.
sir. I
I'll
will.
review it. Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
Nope, that's it for me. Thank you.
I'm good. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Mr. Burke?
No.
Mrs. Bowen?
Yes.
Yes, please.
First of all, you know, putting a picture of a puppy like that distracts me from actually listening to you. It's so cute. I love it. And then the other thing is, I'd like to commend your officers and yourself on the capture of the inmate that escaped. I know you worked in collaboration with our sheriff department and other law enforcement. Thank you for your service, and I'm glad everybody was safe.
Thank you, ma'am. And I'd love to take credit for it. That was Sheriff Department and the U.S. Marshals. We were just there to support them.
Support, yes.
And help them. And I did reach out to the sheriff and said we supported him 100%.
Wonderful.
These things are going to happen. It's unfortunate, but we'll always be there to support him. So I thank you, ma'am, though, and
I'm
I know
so
we.
glad that you all work so well together, and I love seeing that in the community. I know our citizens enjoyed seeing that as well. It's something that was needed. Thank you for that.
Was that was that our drone, or was it the sheriff's, or the drone? Was it y'all ran
No,
it?
that's our drone.
Oh, it was
Those
over-
are our drones.
Yeah, I heard it went over my backyard out there. It was weird, it just sounded so weird. It was hovering, took off all the way south.
So if ever you have a chance, we do have footage of how we utilize our drones, and I encourage you, if you ever have time, and I know y'all are busy, stop by the CID building, and we can show you what we do and how we utilize our drones.
Thank you.
Mr. Burke?
I'm sorry, Sandra, I don't know you're done.
No,
Oh, you weren't done?
No,
Okay.
sorry.
I interrupted.
regarding the citizens on patrol, I heard you say Thursday, but are your meetings on Wednesday?
They had one Thursday.
So I think we had one last week because I was supposed to be at the Bible study and I didn't go because we had sit on patrol. So it might
Okay.
be Wednesdays, but except last week was on Thursdays. Thank you for
Okay, well,
correcting me
because
on that.
I wanted to
apologize.
be part of that, but of course I have Bible study on Wednesday
ma'am.
nights, and I was like,
So that's
I missed
why.
out on that. So next time, I'm
Yes,
going to
ma'am. I
make sure I'm
apologize.
on that
but
list.
It's Wednesdays. Last week was Thursday.
Okay, good deal.
Stop.
And also, I'd like to commend you on your budget. I know that you're staying in line with everything, and you're doing a great job with that. I appreciate your efforts and your utilization and what you're, using the grants and everything else that help our law enforcement officers obtain what they need to obtain and what you do.
Oh, no, thank you. I know our city manager is the reason behind that, and he allows us the opportunity, and he's always asking us to go out and look at different grants and ways to improve our department. So we owe it to him. So our hats go off to him, and thank him for that, for allowing us the opportunity. Because a lot of what we're spending is at no cost to the city. So
Great.
it's come out
Love
of.
to hear that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So right now, I think on our grants alone, it's over 700,000
Right.
for overtime and other equipment.
Wonderful. Well, thank you,
Thank you so
all
much.
those who are part of that. Appreciate it. That'll be it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank
Ron?
you.
Mr. Burke?
Mr. Burke?
Yeah, just a quick question. With summer coming in particular, are we experiencing certain neighborhood streets, excessive speeding, and also a strategy for that, including with summer coming, juveniles being out? Are you looking, I'm sure you are, looking down the road?
So we have, and thank you for bringing that up. So if you notice, and we've talked about these right now on Texas Boulevard and Seabreeze, you do have speed limit signs that are lit. So those are also stats. So we're recording how fast all the cars are going. Actually, we had just, 2 weeks ago on just Texas Boulevard alone, one way, we had over 34,000 cars traveling in 1 week's time. And it tells us, and so we're able to follow through, we're able to record the speeds and so forth. So if people say they're speeding, we can always go back. Now, the great thing about it, it's given us real time. It's given the officers on their phones, they're able to see where the speeding is happening. I would like to one day increase this to other areas of our community. If you go back and remember, I'm telling you, after a certain time, we're no longer on our city streets as much. We're now going back into the neighborhoods for that reason, sir, to try to prevent it. Now, we can't always change everything that happens. We cannot control it, but we can control how we respond. That I do promise you.
Yes.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, sir.
I have a question.
Yes, please, ma'am.
I just wanted to see, do you have any kind of statistics as far as that program that you rolled out with lock your cars and those, would you put out signs out there throughout our community? And a second question is on that Citizens on Patrol. Is this something that's going to be an ongoing, once this group has gone through their 14 weeks, is it something you're going to go and start another group? Or?
Yes, ma'am. So one of the things before we start any program, sometimes you'll hear me talk of programs, but I always look at sustainability. Is it sustainable? Every program's a great program when we talk about it, but is it sustainable? Can we continue? Is it just going to be one time and then it dies off just like everything else, right?
Yeah.
So we have to make sure it's sustainable. This one is, so we can. It may be once a year that we do it, but we will continue to do it. So we're looking, hopefully, once this is graduated, go back, reassess, and then have another program.
Okay.
So we plan on doing that. And the stats, I will have them, ma'am, for
Okay.
you. I can get that for you.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
No further questions or discussion? Okay.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to our next agenda item, 7.9, presentation and discussion from the Alice Fire Chief Patrick Thomas regarding the statistics for first quarter calls for service.
Mayor and council, can you hear me? It sounds kind of weird.
Yes.
So every year, the regulatory agencies that oversee the fire departments, much like the TCOL oversees the police department, and I think TCQ oversees our water department. We get audited as well on the fire department side by the Texas Commission on Fire Protection. So for the last, aside from last week, I was on vacation last week, and the week before that, the weeks before that, my efforts have really been focused on trying to get ready for that audit. We got audited today. And so I don't have stats for you. I'm going to ask that you table that, and I can provide them at the next meeting. But I do want to include that our audit went very well. It went so well that the state auditor told us that he doesn't have to come back every year now. He only has to come back every 2 years now. He felt that confident that we're doing things well. In that audit, they look at our policies, they look at our records, they look at our training, they look at our equipment. He went through and inspected every single one of our firefighters that are working today. He checked their gear from head to toe, and we passed very, very, very successfully. So
Okay.
it had not happened in a long time. So
Good job. So,
Congratulations and thank you.
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you. So we'll bring this
We'll just bring it back up.
back for another, okay, thank you. Okay, so moving on, as this agenda is to be tabled and be brought back at a later date, 7.10, here's status report on February 2023 month-end financial statements, summary of funds, and delivery of February 2023 check registers.
My daughter's painting.
Showboating over here. With that
You like the
slideshow,
PowerPoint?
yeah.
After seeing the Chiefs, Vanessa and I were talking, we're like, God, that PowerPoint presentation, I need to work on that.
Got to step up the
I need
PowerPoint
to
game.
Step it up.
It's so pretty.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. We're here for the financials for the 5th month, ending February 28th, 2023. The general fund revenues are $5,356,375 year-to-date. Property tax budget was $1,231,250, and year-to-date, we show $1,575,457. Exhibit B, we have our M&O and INS 2023 of $3,737,033, and we're roughly $58,000 above last year's mark. Going back to Exhibit A, sales tax was budgeted at $2,540,000. And we're showing $1,877,845 through December. Remember, we're arrears on that. Exhibit C, we have our sales tax budget versus actual, and this one includes the month of January. January's collection was $574,288, or $66,000 above target. 2023 budget was $2,032,000. And we have an actual of $2,452,133, so roughly $420,000 over target. Exhibit D, we have our actual 2023 versus 2022, and we saw an increase of $482,344. Exhibit E, our general fund expenditures. Year-to-date, we've expended $6,096,977. And just to touch on a couple of the departments at this point, city clerk's sitting at 46%. At this point, we'd like to see us at about roughly 42% of budget. City clerk was at 46%, fire department's at just over 47%, PD's just at about 46%, and inspections is sitting at 58%. We had kind of high inspection costs. Exhibit F, revenues versus expenditures for all funds. The general fund at this time, we show a negative 740,602. Our solid waste was a negative 151,340. Utility fund is sitting at 117,479. And again, just to touch on the general fund, like we've always done, is, well, of course, that's property taxes behind on that, as well as sales tax. And the final slide is revenue over expenditures comparing 2022 and 2023. At this point, instead of going one by one, the thing I'd like to say is, I know seeing the general fund as a negative 74602, but if you take into consideration this month in February, our property tax payment came in on March 3rd, so it was actually a couple of days delayed, so we can't count it in this financial. So if you put in the payment of $656,140, we'd actually only be sitting at a negative $83,859. So if you put that in place, it should have counted in February, but I can't count it at that point. You can go across the board, and we're pretty much in a lot better situation this year than we were last year.
Plus the 2 months of.
And still, that's without the sales tax, but I can't really say that because every year it's the sales tax.
Yeah.
This one, the property tax is a little different.
Okay.
So that's basically our presentation at this point, if you have any questions.
Council, any questions? Mrs. Bowen?
No, not at this time, but thank you.
Okay. Mr. Burke?
Yes, I do have several questions. My first question quickly is, at this point, what is our general fund reserves, approximately?
Approximately, our cash balance at this point is just over 5.4 million.
5.4 million.
Yes.
5.4 million.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's one of the questions I was going to ask.
Our
Okay.
reserves, yeah.
My second question I'd like to develop with you, and if at any point I'm wrong, you certainly correct me. All right, we have the debt service reserve. And my understanding, and correct me if at any point I'm wrong, at the start of the season, especially, it may fluctuate as revenue comes in, like property tax, whatever, okay. And so there is a certain level that you're supposed to, you maintain in there. But then it can grow to the point where it's excess. And my understanding is there's a level or cap to a certain extent that you're supposed to not exceed. Am I correct on that?
That's correct. It's basically, city manager, myself, we spoke to the auditors, we spoke to financial advisors, and we even reached out to Texas Ag and the general. And the way they reference it is basically you cannot purposely, I don't want to use the language, but you can't purposely fluff the debt service account. It's basically what your debt service is, you report that to the appraisal district, they come back with your tax service, and you have to let them know also what you have in your debt service fund, because as easy as I could do it is, if you have $1 million in debt service, and you have $500,000 sitting in that fund, you can't go to the taxpayers and say, I need $1 million to pay my debt service. You actually only need $500,000. So that's why they tell you, it's really good practice and common practice to bring it down. Use whatever funds you have available in your debt service. They did say, what is it, the 1/12?
1/12 of your total debt service.
Is what you should keep in that.
Well, not what, that's what.
That's the limit.
Yeah, what, the most that you should probably have for any kind of discrepancies on payments, you know, that's actually quite a bit, 1/12 of the debt service.
Can I correct one thing, Mr. Chris? Technically, you're not supposed to have
Any-
additional funds in your debt service.
Right.
And so that's the limit.
Because it's a taxing issue.
Yes, because what happens is then they adjust your collected taxes down from, to add in the balance you already have there. And so it offsets your taxes, and ultimately it winds up helping taxpayers and whatnot, but that's why.
Right. So you are correct.
Okay. And why I'm asking is, and forgive me, but I am tired, exacerbated.
Point of order, that's not,
Excuse me?
that you're out of line on. You can just, I mean, if you want to talk about the debt service or anything,
It's
but
part of discussion. I don't know.
opinion,
It's part- He hasn't even made a statement yet. How's he out of order?
Mr. Lemon?
Well, the problem that we run into is that we have here status report on February 2023 month-end financial statements, summary of funds, and the delivery of February 2023 check registers. That it's a general statement in those regards, and it can be nuanced however you want to talk about it. It's just, what does month-end financial statements and 2023 month-end financial statements and summary of funds?
Summary of funds.
It's a general statement.
Yeah.
However, there is the problem that is we don't have this particular item listed as discussion.
So that no questions should have been asked to begin with.
And so we're kind of, I think that's kind of silly. I think that it's there for a particular reason, but yes, we need to include discussion in these issues. I've used it against Patrick several times when he's been talking for quite a while.
So,
But the
I just-
issue I have with
times
it
we've
is
had
that
questions.
the mayor is the one that's opening it up for questions.
And you all can.
And now it's-
I'm talking about questions or indirect to the finances, now formulating an opinion, and interjecting that opinion is totally different.
If I can, and what I'm going to say is that, look, that it's an open meetings issue, okay? It's not necessarily whether it's a governance issue. I think that you all can talk about pretty much anything that you want to talk about when discussion is there. Just don't be negative or hostile or whatnot. We have an issue with this particular agenda item tonight that it doesn't allow for it to be opened up for discussion. And so you would assume that questions, however, you would also assume that part of the report of summary of funds would allow for questioning. Because if you have a question in regards to the summary of funds, how else are you going to have clarification unless you can ask questions in those regards? And so it's kind of silly. And so, I guess, long story short of it, I think we're okay if we have discussion, even though it doesn't say discussion, as long as the questions are related to things that have to do with the summary of funds.
And if you wish to reformulate that,
Well, and I'm not commenting on what Mr. Burke
Yeah.
said. I'm
Yeah,
not
you didn't
commenting
say
on
anything.
anything.
I didn't hear anything. You got cut off.
I never
You got a statement.
What I'm saying is I would prefer to have discussion in there.
We're tired,
But if
too.
it's not in there.
I didn't say, I said I'm tired, I said that was what came out.
If discussion isn't in there, then I think that some questioning is going to be allowed. I would prefer to have discussion in the agenda item.
I would be glad to rephrase my question.
Thank you,
and
Mr. Burke.
And statement in
Thank you.
certain respect.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Finance Director, when someone is asking or suggesting that the reserve, the debt service reserve, needs to be fluffed, basically what they're saying is that they're asking someone to do something that really is inappropriate, that shouldn't be happening. And I would like the discussion to center on the idea, we're talking about transparency, we're talking about accuracy. This whole thing is just ridiculous because it's creating a stress and a tension in the community that shouldn't be.
We're again getting out. We need to stay to the facts.
Mayor, at the last meeting, you spent how much time with your charts?
Yes, but it was just referring just like you would. It's just asking a question, and I'm okay with you asking a question, but when you're insinuating, that's different.
I think
But it's,
What your
it's
question
fine.
is, I guess,
Okay.
to answer your question, you are correct. We cannot go out there to ask for more funds to build the
Okay.
fund up.
The next question, the check register, it was taken off for security reasons, was it not?
Correct.
Yes.
That was before my time, but the meetings that I've had with staff as well as with IT, it was done because of fraudulent phone calls and emails.
So what you've been presenting is the truth. It's the accuracy. It's the transparency. It's the accountability. You're presenting the facts. And
Yes, sir.
I'm tired of people misrepresenting it. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Burke.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Molina, any questions?
Just good job. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Chris?
Yes, so let me see how I can form these questions. The idea that when we look at this printout, and we look at poster boards, and we see $36,000 in the reserve fund is an accurate statement according to accounting practices, right? Because we have negative fund balances, correct?
Correct.
Okay, however, we're representing negative fund balances on future debt, correct?
Correct.
So those are things that do not exist currently.
Correct.
Again, correct. So when we look at this and we show the world that we only have 36,000, and how are we supposed to move forward with that? That is not necessarily a true representation of where the city stands.
No, sir.
No, okay. The thing is that we have people out there who have no idea how to do accounting that are making these statements. And what did you say our true reserve balance is
Cash-
roughly?
Cash balance roughly right now is 5.4 million.
5.4 million. How many months of operation is that, roughly?
I apologize, I don't have that.
I mean, rough, it's over 3, right?
Yes.
It's well
Yes,
over 3.
Well over 3.
It's well over 3, and we continue to move forward. Last question. Are we going bankrupt with $5.4 million in the bank?
Not at this time.
All right, thank you.
I do want to point something out. So one of the things, if you look at Exhibit F, which we can put up there, and this is, the revenue over expenditure shows a negative 740,000. But one big thing is, on the 3rd is when we got the deposit.
Correct.
Last year, it came in February. And so that would have automatically changed that number down to about 84,000. With the tax coming in, it would have been a negative 84. But now, when you look at that also, the true number is you're 2 months in arrears of sales tax.
And they've
You
been
got that
averaging.
back. Yeah, then that's $1.1 million if you can accrue that, which we cannot because we're a government entity.
Right.
That's, our income is treated as cash. Now, another thing that we do, that we don't have to, but we do it, we've done it all the time, is we treat our expenses as cash too. So when it gets out, it gets out, so we don't do any prepaids. So here, on this one, as in the solid waste, the debt service and insurance on that has been accounted for on the cash basis when it was expensed. Now, we could go and do journal entries and expense that month by month by month by month, but we just haven't done that.
Another question on accrual versus cash. Where do we sit on water and waste billing? That is when it comes in as well, right? So we have outstanding invoices in roughly million plus, 100,000, 200,000?
Look at what we roughly run, I apologize. I don't have.
So,
Yeah, at any given time, we'll have, naturally, we're gonna have money that's owed.
Right.
And that is the same way what you're talking about, so we're treating
right,
that as cash, because you can't,
Count until we have.
you can't count it till it's
Right.
in, even though it's been invoiced.
yeah, usually when you invoice something, you deliver a product, you can note that as cash, but here we cannot.
You would think
Well,
that
I
some people.
appreciate the conversation and stuff, but, the thing about, and I know it's directed, and I'm not gonna go into that because I just said, let's not do that type of thing, but no one's ever insinuated fluffing debt service, never insinuated that, never. And when I go through these, I'm asking, and, it shows we have 4.6 million in the general fund. I always said that showed, when I did that presentation last time, I was asking, because I want to be sure that I understand. And when I look at this, it says we have money to pay our bills. I said that last time. I don't hide anything about that. And I asked you, please correct me if I'm wrong in any of my statements. So just trying to understand the consolidated fund summary, I know that general fund, we have revenue and expenditures. As long as we are receiving our tax revenue, our sales tax, the way we budget it, That's all this is reflecting. And it's saying we have enough to pay our bills because that's how we budget it. And as we go through each one, some of them have excess, some of them have negative balances. The one that we had that we were showing that was negative was solid waste, and that was a future expense because the auditor stated we had to show that it was a future expense. It should be in a depreciation fund that we don't have but at one time we had 2.5 million. Now we have one point, I don't know, how much do we have in there? I'm sorry.
The depreciation fund?
Yeah, we don't have but one.
Develop-
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm
Not on.
sorry. Yes, I'm mixing it up.
That was different on the auditor was talking about
So
the post-closure.
that fund,
Post-closure.
what do we have? It was like we used to have 2 point something, now we have 1 point something in there.
We don't have it in the financial.
Okay, well, that's fine. But anyways, yeah, that's not misconstruing. I don't want anyone to misconstrue this. When I went out there and was talking about this, all I wanted to know, I said, we have enough to pay our bills, but we need to plan ahead. That's all I said. How someone misconstrues that or doesn't understand that, I'm sorry. And I never said fluff debt service. I would never suggest that.
Oh, that was my language.
There was-
I didn't say you said that.
there was-
All
But I'm just saying, no, it's insinuated, but it's
There was a meeting
okay.
specifically stated where the point made was, how is the city going to be able to continue to move forward with only $36,000 in reserves?
How
That
do
exact
you
statement
plan?
was made.
Negative, it's not, we need to be proactive and plan ahead of time, and that's it.
Now we're out of it.
That's okay.
Now,
Yeah, I think
but
both of
Okay.
you guys are getting.
post-closure fund, the idea, and I do question, thank you for bringing this up again. There was a comment made during the budgeting where we had talked about maybe a post-closure fee on a monthly thing at maybe a quarter or 20 cents at a rising cost
That
for the
was
next
during
20
our
years.
budget, yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, I just said that, yes.
Yeah.
Has staff done any work to kind of figure out anything on that, or have y'all moved on that? I mean, if
No.
post-closure is
no,
a
but-
bigger
but on-
issue.
But that post-closure, the auditor has reversed that on that, looking at what it is. They changed on their position on that.
Okay,
On that post-closure fund, because
It's
it's not.
gonna change, and then, God willing, like I said, all I said is, let's be proactive, that's all. Nothing vicious, nothing malicious, whatever, malice. I wanted to ask, on here, we had on the hotel occupancy tax fund, I just wanted to ask you, what is the other purchase property and professional technical services that we've expensed money on?
On purchase property?
It's on page,
I'm looking at a purchase property.
other purchase property and professional technical services.
I don't see.
It's just a grand total year-to-date.
page are you
We're
looking at?
showing at
Oh, other 38,504. I
Yes.
apologize. That's, yeah,
It's advertisement? Oh. And the other one,
the
professional?
13,615.
Yes.
That's for contract work, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's been professional services, about 8,000, and then city-sponsored promotion of the arts, 5,000, that probably be events.
The 100.
Like the events that we funded, okay, through the grant program? Okay. And the professional was, what was that for? Like, what, okay,
I'll have to-
that's fine.
Trying to think off the, that was for.
And I know I had asked it, if you could, I mean, at one point or another, just what we were saving on outsourcing versus,
For the garage?
like, yeah, how we did before. Okay. And I wanted to ask you, because I'm going through the check registry, there's, I see Chemtrade and some other ones. Do you see that we're expensing a little bit more now? Maybe because, I don't know, on chemicals or anything?
Oh, yeah, I mean, if Chemtrade, I believe, that's the chlorine, right? That's the chemicals in the Metro.
No, Chemtrade has the majority of our chemical contracts. They have alum, the caustic, the LAS. We've seen an increase on the chlorine, but that's with DPC, Dixie Petro.
Okay.
But still a substantial savings from years past.
Okay. I just kind of saw like a more, and I was just wondering, kind of curious about that. And then, can you tell me what the check 169755 is for?
DP, that's the one he just mentioned, DPC
That's it?
Chemicals. yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so that's also chemicals,
DPC.
okay. And, check 169763?
Gal's bulletproof vest, 17 bulletproof.
Oh, okay, that's bulletproof vest, okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's-
We'll get reimbursed, or, oh, okay, thank you. And, what is that, 169781?
Sprint waste, it's for the wastewater treatment plant sludge removal.
Oh, okay.
Speak to that.
How many times?
3 times.
3 times, okay.
Okay.
And, 169786?
Library software.
It was-
We can look at, you know, that one off the top, what that was exactly. Library software. Right, library quotation.
Did you say check number 986?
169786, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we showed noted as library software. We can verify what exactly it was.
Okay, I was
Noted-
just curious.
Noted as library software.
Okay. And 169850?
Looks like methane monitoring,
Okay.
Gulf, Texas.
And that's something that we pay how often?
That would be, I believe, a Robert.
Oh,
He stepped out. Up on-
that's okay. All right. Well, at least I know what that was, okay. And then we have a couple of 169877 and 169878. It's for the same entity. but I
Solid
was-
waste, they're permitting. Solid waste
Okay.
fee is the first one, and the second one is wastewater
Okay.
fees, or TCEQ.
And then, what is the 169961?
961.
Sid and Martin,
General repairs on unit 227,
it's a fire department unit, yeah.
fan blade and
An engine.
coolant leak.
Okay. And then the 1699976?
It's a landfill.
Landfill 4X, that's a construction.
Oh, for the,
CLF.
okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. And then there was just one other one, 170036?
36. Repair on 6-inch pump, Xylem Water Solutions.
That's a pump that belongs to maintenance construction.
To what?
A pump that belonged to maintenance and construction.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying
I have
that.
one more question real quick, sorry.
No problem.
On this check registry, is there any way we can have a report that maybe has the memo? Do you put something in the memo so that we can?
We could just move it to Excel, because this comes straight
It's-
from our
oh.
software, but I mean, I think we can just
Well, I don't want you
forward
to
it
do
to
extra
Excel
work,
and
it's
then
just
put
that,
in.
you know, since
something.
questions have been asked of what's this and what's that, you know,
Yeah, we,
resolve the
I think we.
under,
question and, you know, certain ones that.
what we can do, so under payment type and discount amount, probably swap those for memo and then see if it'll print that way.
And just very brief, you know.
It'll print directly from the system, the only thing is it's gonna probably break up, so like, there may be some where it's several invoices, so.
Right.
Yeah, because if we pay a company like Holtcat and several, it's going to kind of,
Yeah, because some of them are revolving, you know, they're just every month or every quarter.
right. We can work on it, though. We can see.
Well, I don't want you to do extra work, it's
We
just
can-
that, you know, to,
Figure something out, see what's presented.
okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Gabriel.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Agenda item number 8, executive session. In accordance with Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Subchapter D, the city council will now recess into executive session, closed meeting to discuss the following. The city council may enter into closed or executive session to discuss the following pursuant to 8.1, consultation with its attorney, Texas Government Code, and subsection 551.071, consultation with attorney regarding an interlocal agreement between the City of Alice Police Department and Alice Independent School District on school resource officers. Okay, it is now 6:35 PM. We will go into executive session.
No, there might be
the old one, paperclip to the back of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Agenda item number 9, return to open session. Return to open session and take any action necessary as a result of discussions in preceding agenda item number 8.1 pursuant to Texas Government Code, Chapter 551.071, consultation with attorney as follows. Consultation with attorney regarding an interlocal agreement between the City of Alice Police Department and Alice Independent School District on school resource officers. Sorry about that. Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
Well, did the chief want to say anything beforehand? Or no, we're good? All right. Mayor, I make a motion for the City of Alice to enter into an interlocal agreement between the City of Alice Police Department and Alice Independent School District on resource officers as presented in contract.
Second.
On school resource officers, okay. Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes. Thank you so much, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief, for all your hard work. Thank you, John,
Appreciate you.
Michael, for all y'all's hard work in making this happen.
Okay,
Yes.
agenda item number 10, adjournment. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment, please.
Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes. Meeting adjourned.
7:15.